Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. This is Joe, the bearded historian. He'll tell you an interesting story. Be careful of his soldiers, they can be brats. This is Angel, she's an entity. She'll cause chaos and plant her hands at you. This is Sue, she likes spirits, not the alcohol. She's the reason this channel exists. This is David, he likes fire trucks. He's here occasionally. Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. We preserve his story. Okay, Grand River Museum. They have a very interesting statue over there, which I'll get a picture of. It's a cowboy on a dinosaur, Triceratops to be exact. And it says free admission, which is my favorite kind. We're gonna go see what they have to offer. Museum time! It's done. It's backwards because reasons, but it's done. I'm not going to redo it because it took me forever 3 days and it's already late. Hopefully next year I'll have a little bit more luck and it won't be late. I'll have to start earlier, but it's done. From December to January, all the videos that we've premiered, lives are not included, way back Wednesdays are not included, shorts are not included with the exception of our stickers. Before all that, before we watch the year progress backwards, shout out time. Here's a shout out just for you. You support me, so I support you. This shout out is for our friends. Let's see who it is today. I've chosen the ducks because we haven't done ducks in a while, and I figured why not. Get started here, maybe. There we go. And we've got Sea Stoll. There's Martin. There's National. There's AAP. There's Mona. There's Lucia. Derek. A&M. Rich Cat. Anthony. Sheen Sean, whatever his name is. VS. 6 Acres. Watchers. Derek. Stace, Embarkment, Coco, Treasure, Heather, Trading, Wright, 755, Anthony and National are currently in the lead, Southern, Talks, Spectral, Cheap, Goat, and it is ATJH, hang on a minute. Alright, so we got ATJHTRAVELS, traveling and exploring God's awesome world, enjoy life preaching and proclaiming the world of God. And so we've got lots of travels, lots of religion. Oh, looks like lots of fun though. So check them out. Enjoy the extra long video. Have a good day. That's kind of a cool sculpture. Oh.
So that was the guy that was mauled by the bear and then left for dead. And then he decided to crawl 2,000 miles. Crawled, staggered, floated, fought his way.
Hey, you want to come see the invisible knife?
Sure.
Isn't that great?
That's an awesome knife. So he followed the bear there and then crawled. Fort Kiowa. He finally came back and met up with Jim out here on the Yellowstone River.
Interesting.
Quite a trip.
Near stage station. I know where our little detecting people are going. What noises? Someday we'll get a metal detector.
Daddy picture time.
So are you guys familiar with the Bismarck to Deadwood Trail?
He is.
Yes, because it actually went right through our ranch. So, but you find a lot of military. There's several ranches where you can see the old wagon trails that go through.
That is so cool, though.
We did a funny thing from Deadwood. We actually started following the markers backwards.
Oh, good.
And it'd get funny because we saw where the old Sturgis marker was, where they originally had the settlement, and then you followed it over by 79, and then all the way over by Empire, and then we got stuck in a snowdrift. Don't recommend that.
The only time we got stuck, and I blame him.
But we followed it all the way. The last marker we saw was outside of where that guy had that ranch that he won a lottery. And so he locked
Okay, so that was over by, yes, Vale.
Yeah. And there's probably more markers back there, but also if you come in from Sulphur on that end,
Right.
there's some other markers, and you see where there used to be
My daughter
town
ranch is
sites.
off over there, and they
Nice.
they live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it. It's so this is more North Dakota, kind of from Raleigh, North Dakota, down in through to Sturgis.
Yeah.
So
I read a kind of an interesting story, though, about Sulphur. It was a stop.
oh, right here.
Yeah. And what was really crazy about it was that I guess, after the trail, had served its purpose and people started moving into the areas, we had the prohibition hit. They were going to stop selling liquor. And they had a tavern there in town. Well, the guy apparently who ran the tavern bought all this liquor, got drunk, and then a fire started. And it burned like 95% of the town to the ground. There's still a building standing there, though.
Just one.
And at the time, it was a post office, a gas station, dance hall.
Oh, a lot of small towns were that because there was so many more people here at that time.
Oh, yeah. Meade County used to be huge with all those little towns, but
Right.
now it's very, very tiny.
Right.
Actually, here's one thing. I don't know if you would know much about it. Have you ever heard of a town called Cooper?
On the trail? No. Actually, no.
Yeah. This is down in Meade County, and interestingly enough, it was. Let's see. There's Clover, there's Goldfield.
He's trying to find more about it for
Cooper,
his
there
book.
it
Oh,
is.
there it is.
Right there.
It is on the
Cool.
map.
Nice. And see what's weird is that town, according to my research, it had a cemetery and a church.
I can't find anything.
You can't find anything of the town.
It's probably all burnt down or
Moved out,
and
or
the cemetery is probably just grassed over.
could be. I mean, I've studied satellite images. We've driven by that area twice. What's funny is that a lot of these towns, there's Marcus Road, there's Avars Road, but Cooper, the area where it's nearby, is known as Grapevine Road. It never got its own claim stick. We've been by the Chalk Butte. We've seen their cemetery. Red Owl, we've seen their cemetery. I've got kinfolk all through here. It gets so funny. We stopped in at Enning to look at their consignment sale, and they're like, "So what are you doing in town?" "Oh, my grandma used to live up here." "Oh, what was her name?" "Oh, Edith Michelson." "Oh, we're cousins."
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we know Michelson. Yeah.
They were teachers, and they're still farming down there, from what I understand. But
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Michelsons.
the White Owl Cemetery's got about 6 to 8 in there. So, but yeah, see, this is always my baby, is that I love studying the Bismarck Trail.
My husband's sister lives right at White Owl. She's the one that kind of organized the building in White Owl Hall. And they just had a big White Owl celebration. Yeah.
still pulling out artifacts, huh? Oh, yeah.
These are old though. I mean, these are the person, several people who found these are gone passed away now.
And I think I had sometimes there was a city stage one that came up in Nebraska. There was the China line that came up. Medora tried to get a line. But I think they were betting that they were going to be able to get the U.S. Postal Service mail. Didn't go through it, so after 2 months they said, screw that.
And but to think that this whole stage deal was only a short, really, but I think they still freighted across in different places. You can see over several different ranches, the line on the old wet trails.
Oh, yeah.
Cut through the dirt.
Like Fort Pierre, Fort Pierre today was in one line. From what I also was reading, they had a line that was set up off of the Missouri River going west.
Right.
And they wanted to basically inherit it into the railroad. The railroad paid it from the military line that way.
So why did you think that first? Why did they do this mark to Deadwood? Because that was all Gumbo here in the Shield system.
From what I understand, the Gumbo did cause the Fort Pierre line to go south.
Oh, okay.
Because they had to bypass it. It went basically from Fort Pierre over down close to what is now Midland, across over by Brimstone was one of the areas, and then they crossed over at Smithville.
So we were thinking it went right by Whiteout, but it didn't go south.
Further south. Oh, what's funny is Whiteout, it sounds like one of the first times we settled in that area.
That's why we were assuming that stage or wagon line went through. They couldn't find.
That there's a book there at our library there in Brandon, and it talks about that there was 2 separate trails that they used. Because one of the trails, it's kind of funny because we see their cemetery. It's called Lakeside. What's funny is from all intent and purposes, it was going to be a town. It never made it. They had all the people, take up quadrants and, little 160 acres. But they never got a post office. They never formed, a town as such. But they had a cemetery.
That church?
But that's standard for
Yeah,
a
they-
community.
2 or 3
You would need
churches,
a town
actually.
to have a
A
church
community.
or a cemetery.
Yeah, see, that's one thing we've discussed is what's the difference between a community and a town? What are the requirements to move it from this is a community to this is a small town?
I mean, you've got
It's
places.
legal documents.
Because see, at one time there was the town called Chance.
Like a
Yes,
chance.
It's still there, but
Right.
what you have is 2 great big ranches.
right, and then the cemetery.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's no town. So it's like, is this considered a
But
ghost
that's-
town?
Yeah, but that's Grand Valley.
Yeah.
Grand Valley. That's kind of in our community. And we even have the old town hall. It used to be a store, but yeah. I mean, and people would travel on wagons and spend days shopping at Grand Valley, but there's nothing there anymore. It used to be a blacksmith, post office store.
We went to one place called Dayton. And what's funny is the cemetery's still there too. We see what might have been a store at one time. Now it's on some guy's ranch.
Right.
And then across the road is the basement foundations for what we think was probably a school. Or maybe somebody else's playhouse. We don't know.
Right, right.
But yeah, that's all in that way further southern part of Perkins way down
Oh,
there.
wow, okay.
'Cause, well, we get bored. We just go out and start driving, trying to find these places.
I work from home, so when I'm off, I don't want to be home.
Right.
So I told him, pick a place, I don't care.
Yeah, just let's go drive and see some stuff.
And so he picks a place, usually historically related, and we go there, and I enjoy the views, and he enjoys the history.
At our library down there in Rapid, it's so funny because I'll walk up, can I see my suite, please? Sure. They open up the historical section. I got like 5 volumes on the table all at once, and I'm like, There's one though that's beautiful because it features where every post office was in South Dakota.
From when? From what date? Just from the beginning?
From inception, yeah. And like, trying to think of a good one. There was one in a place called Leslie.
Okay,
And
that's
it was
one
the
of them.
far northern part of what is now Hacking County. It was right across the river from Cherry Creek.
Oh, okay.
Nothing exists there. In fact, that we couldn't even get there with our car.
Right.
It's that
Right,
far out
remote.
of Cooley's.
Yeah, I have a cousin that lives, has a ranch there,
We,
kind of in that area.
what was funny is we went to Curly out there.
Yes.
We found Curly,
Yes.
the ranch anyway. But what's interesting is the town hall, or the meeting hall, it's actually on the other side of the highway in Stanley County.
But they probably moved it.
Probably.
Yeah,
And so we're like,
they moved stuff
all the time. Yeah. It gets hilarious. We're like,
Yeah.
did you see the school? No. Well, that's because somebody moved it onto his ranch and it's now a storage unit. Oh, so that's why we didn't find it. You know, we're out there tooling around. We saw Rob's Flat Cemetery. It's a quaint little thing. It's got what, about 8 to 10 headstones?
Oh, yeah, it wasn't very big.
We saw the fire hall is a one bay garage right next door to it. I'm like, that's cute. I like that. You know. But yeah, it's. Let's see. You think about transportation in this day and age. You'd have to have been shook big time. Trying to go a whole week on these
To think
things.
that these plaques would keep the dust out from rolling, it's just, yeah, incredible.
It's fun.
There are map noises over here, Bebby.
Hornets. Mr. Lemon, I'd rather not you.
Oh, I'm shocked and amazed. There's a postcard over here for Fort. I'm not even going to attempt that one. Nope.
Made a deal with Teddy Roosevelt to do the lease, and it literally took 900,000 acres worth of ranch land so he could feed his cattle. That's a lot of property.
It's a lot of property.
Yeah. The lease was signed and dated for an agreed upon price of $200, which sounded like a steal, but there was a lot more to the lease agreement. Colonel James McLaughlin was the acting agent, and one of McLaughlin's jobs was to protect Indian grass from trespass by large open cattle range operations. The Washington government officials ruled that if the Indian wanted to protect their grass, they would have to fence it. And that was one of the stipulations. And so he had to fence 865,400 acres with a 3-wire fence. That's a lot of frickin' wire.
It's a lot of wire. Imagine, trying to keep up a fence that big.
The fence, when complete, would be 270 miles of enclosure. At the time, the largest fenced enclosure in the world.
Wow.
Original postcard. Postcard was sent from Ernest Sedgwick to Gertrude Wiley at the Fort Keogh, Montana. Postcard on loan from the Grand River Museum for Marilyn Wiley, Lemon, South Dakota. Here we go. Wasn't even a state when CN trailed their high cattle through the Grand River on their way to Montana. 4 years later, they returned and made a ranch. The country was open at that time, and some of the big ranches were using the land that was available from the removal of the bison and treaties. The CN family and other early squatters loved the grass and water and the natural protection of the Grand River and made a permanent settlement. In order to get supplies and mail to these families, you'd have to travel to Glen Olin, North Dakota, or the Black Hills of South Dakota. The town of CN was started in 1893, and the businesses and residences sprang from people coming into this new and exciting open range. The post office was established and a mail route, part of the Butte County at the time, and the oldest and largest office in a 200-mile radius. 4 newspaper offices, 2 banks, lawyers, land offices, general stores, liveries, feed, hotels, doctors, cafes, and the undertakers and a lumber yard, and carpenters, and of course saloons. They had a church, school. It was a real Grand River town. The CN family never lived in the town, but was one of the first families in the area, and the post office had to have a name, and that was the name they chose. Thrived and prospered for 15 years, but then a major flood in the Grand River did much damage to the town. A new railroad survey decided to stay between the Cedar and the Grand Rivers near the border between the Dakotas, The railroad arrived north of Seam in 1907, and many of the people and businesses relocated up there. Became what was known as a tent town because the town hadn't really been named yet. The early settlers wanted to call it Seam, but the town of Seam still existed, so it became Lemon after G.E. Lemon helped the railroad find a suitable passage across the reservation and on west. The major railroad brought in homesteaders while the major cattle ranges were phasing out and times were changing. Seam existed as a post office until 1918 when it was moved to Shade Hill. The Shade Hill Dam was built in 1949, and the town site of Seam and at the forks of the Grand River was buried forever in the lake.
Oh no!
But
Another
the town,
lake town.
Yeah. But the town and its people in Seam were the beginning of the town of Lemon, and that's where the legacy thanks to the Grand River town. We'd like to thank Horace Seam for the information we gleaned, as well as historical articles. They still have the cemetery. Like I said, it's out by the end of the Grand River, and you can see it on the maps. It's kind of tricky to get to, but why has it never been tricky for us to get to a cemetery?
This way?
Yep. Boss County Honorees.
Which way do you want to loop? Faith or Genesis?
Let's go Genesis.
Dinosaurs.
Backylites, Ammonites. There's Montesaurus Mons. To better identify a Hadrosaurus hand, put your left hand up, fold your thumb underneath your hand, put your first two fingers together as one, spread your pinky out. That's how the Hadros use their hands.
Fun?
Huh. Soft-shelled turtle
Ah.
from Corson County. Freshwater turtle.
It's a pretty flower.
Yeah, very funky. Crocodile jaws. Stephanonymous altus. Kind of like a ostrich. Lightweight dinosaur, sharp beak, no teeth, and speed was his best defense. School in session class? Metatarsals. Foot bones from a juvenile to adult Edmontosaurus. It's not often you find such a varied collection of the same bone. That's wild.
That is kind of cool.
You got the tiny little one, and then you got the great big hunker. Ossified tendons, soda straws. Yes.
Do, do, do. Seashells. Spurny ones. What are you doing, Mr. Bud?
I was reading this thing about the supportion of creation science views where all of Earth's features were produced by catastrophe. Well, you think about it, meteor strike. It's a pretty bad catastrophe.
Nah.
Wiped out all the dinosaurs.
Oh, that's a cool
Ammonites.
turtle.
That's kind of cool. Fossilization. Petrified turtle.
Yeah, I saw that.
Poor little dude. The thing is, you gotta imagine how quickly that happened for a turtle to be fossilized.
Right, especially like not completely in a shell
Yeah.
like that.
Thunder eggs. I guess they're still fighting with the issue of why there's a several 100,000 years where there are no fossils.
Because
Yeah.
that is the answer. I know the scientists don't like that answer, but I still think that dinosaurs are God's practical joke to just make man question themselves.
Hey, Sue.
No.
The movie Dinosaur 13 documented controversy and tragedy of finding eventually losing Sue to the establishment authorities. It's now in Chicago and was a key member of the Jim Butcher's Dresden Files book when they had to animate the dinosaur to help save Chicago.
Down or around?
Down.
Okay. Oop, nope.
Watch the floor.
That's my thing.
A funky slant. Oh, electric.
That's Buffalo Hound.
Standing Rocks Reservation. Huh.
John Phillips. Oh, Beebles. That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Dancing stick. Huh, interesting. John William. Oh, there's that book she was talking about. Okay, he looks so scared in this picture.
Yeah. Probably gotta figure out what the heck a camera is doing.
Probably.
Oh, here's the one the lady was talking about.
Mm-hmm. I just said that. There's the book that she was talking about.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, Moses' wives in that picture. That's what it looks like. Those two women. Is it the same time? Yeah, that was.
Excuse me. James Morrow Walsh. Piece of brick from the home. Interesting.
Wow.
Symbol surrender, witnesses, cauldron?
Caldron.
More maps.
An idiot. On loan from Fort Meade.
Interesting. Knife from U.S. Cavalry. Mess kit. Interesting. Ooh, bears. OE Chapel. And yes, I know I'm probably spelling that wrong. Because that's what I do. Ranching. Four Heart Saddle. Interesting. Charles and Peggy Clark. I'm going to the restroom real quick. Downtown? Oh, that's a cool looking thing.
Yeah. 1962.
Wow, 9 cents. Let's go buy some stuff.
No kidding.
I need mixing bowls.
A bonbon dish, a dustpan. My mom had one of those that looked like that. Kitchen tools. Popular toys.
Sandwick Ranch. Lemon and his wife had a dark brown house built. Roundup Cafe. Oh, train accident.
Uh-oh. State Line Restaurant.
Hey, we've been to one of those. Not that one, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
that's kind of cool, though. That is a cash register.
No kidding. Celebration October 3rd and 4th, London, South Dakota. Oh, wow. You want to make a newspaper?
I think I would hurt myself.
Do you know where this item was used?
What?
I would either bet in a railroad station while they're waiting for the train to come in.
Look, babes.
Oh, nice.
Want to stay for a couple hundred years?
Yeah, I'll just tell them I'll be out in a couple years. I would definitely 1952. Yeah, I would be here for. Well, no, like my husband's staying. We'll see you later.
Branding.
Oh.
Josephine MacArthur Wagner. Antique horns. A picture of Caldron.
Yeah.
A little bit about Caldron, and here's their post office. Woo! That's very nice. Oh,
There you go.
more pictures. Bixby. Grandma Crawford. This postcard was written in 1910. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Paris School. Post
Grand Valley
office.
Store, yeah.
Ranch. Fashion Grain. We saw some of those. Horsey.
Look at the old Buick. with a removable back seat.
Ellsworth.
Athboy. That's that one road that we saw that turned had the arrow.
Kemp Horse Ranch. Bird's eye view of Lemon. About a dozen buildings. Buffalo in the Clouds.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, I do see it. Took me a minute, but I see it. Morristown. That is it. There's no more. And we're going to sit for a minute while Joe takes his pictures, because then he takes pictures of all the important stuff. Oh. Rodeo. Branding. History of branding. It could be a fun topic. It'll carry on for, I don't know, a couple of hours. Thunderhawk, South Dakota. I think I have that on my mouse. Morristown.
L7 was close to Sulphur.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a Tipperary we saw at the other museum. Found the boys.
Hi, guys.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah.
Labu. I have no idea how to say it.
Well, that's the town that's underwater now.
One of many. We should count the towns underwater.
Yeah.
That's like, what, 6?
Something like that. See, that was one of the big railheads. And then when they built the Ojai Reservoir and dam, it went underwater. Of course, most of it was already moved by then. But they had a feeling it was going to be not good.
I like the trunk.
Yeah.
Rose. Tidball.
Tidball, yeah.
Like the Panano. A Panano. 10 Commandments.
Congress
And
of the United States. Look, books.
Athboy store.
Wow.
Valentine's Day cards. Pots. Okay, I'm being weird, but those look like eyes.
Yes, they do.
I think that the 3 lines going down like lashes don't help.
Probably not.
Tell us what you think in the comments below. Harvesting ice.
Oh, wow.
Homestead kitchen.
The milkman's here to deliver milk in various bottles.
I like how there's a big one in the center.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not super big, but my creed: to maintain the highest ideal of home life, to count children, the most important of crops, to mother them that their bodies may be sound, their minds clear, their spirits happy, and their characters generous, to place service above comfort, to let loyalty to high purpose silence
Discordant notes.
Thank you. To let
Neighborliness.
that's a word, supplant hatreds, to be discouraged, never to lose self in generous enthusiasm, to extend to the less fortunate helping hand, to believe one's community may become the best of communities, to cooperate with others for the common ends of the more abundant home and community life.
Abundant home.
That's hard to read
Yeah. And somebody stitched that sucker together.
and very confusing.
Look at the old school irons.
I would burn myself.
I would too.
Sod houses.
Soggies. Christmas dinner, anyone?
Cream Cons, Chester, Sutton, Pax.
Florida.
Thank you. Pettick.
Pettick Ranch.
Ooh, I was so close. There's a map for you. It's a textured map. Athelboy School Bell. That's cool. Another map noises. And big books that Joe would love to have. Even if one of them is just a big dictionary. Rules for teachers in 1972.
Oh, no.
Teachers each day will fill lamps and clean chimneys. Well, that makes sense. Teachers will bring a bucket of water and scuttle for coal for the session. Make your pens carefully. You may whittle nibs to the individual taste of the pupils. No, thank you. Men teachers may take one evening each week for recording purposes or 2 evenings a week if they go to church regularly. After 10 hours in school, the teacher may spend the remaining time reading the Bible or other good books. Please define good books. Women teachers who marry or engage in unseemly conduct will be dismissed. Heaven forbid you be married and respectable. Every teacher should lay aside from each pay a goodly sum of his earnings for the benefit during decline years so that he may not become a burden to society. No, thank you. Any teacher who smokes, uses liquor in any form, frequently pool or public halls, gets shaved in a barber shop, will give good reason to suspect his worth, intention, integrity, and honesty. Except for the barber shop, I agree. Teachers who perform his labor faithfully and without fault for 5 years will be given an increase of 25 cents per week in his pay, providing that the school board approves. And I love that it says his pay, because she isn't getting an increase. Dance. Homestead Entertainment. I like the barbells.
Yeah.
The tiny typewriter. And then, oh, of course, hello, Soldier Boys. I was not ignoring you, I promise.
I mean, please smile for the camera. A little lightheadedness is creeping up on me.
What? A boy pulling on you? Rodeo official sport. Well, I guess.
We produce more rodeo riders and bronc riders. And,
I guess that's something to be proud of.
buffalo jumps. I remember those.
I don't understand it, but hey, we've been to one of those.
Yeah.
You'll see it. It'll probably be on the channel before this one.
Native headdress. Water songs in bag.
Now to the fluid. Prepping of fossils. Well, that's a funny thing. What is that thing? Oh, that's neat. Prepping of fossils. That's how they do that work. We've seen that a couple times.
This model
Uh-huh.
is a 40-foot cross section from the middle of the arc.
My brain almost asked which arc.
Yeah.
What about the people underneath it?
For decorations, I think.
That's kind of interesting that somebody made a model of that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to look like a chicken coop.
So yeah, using this short cubit, an arc would be 45 cubits high, 75 cubits wide, and 450 feet long.
Noah's raiding the pantry.
Of course he is. So they gotta feed the animals.
Oh, I like that they have a polar bear in here.
Oh, polar bear.
That's fun.
Some big bones.
Those are some big bones. Seven Seas timeline. Interesting.
This is kind of cool here, though. 16 grandsons of Noah: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, Tiras, Cush, Merazon, Put, Canaan, Asher, Elam, Axarphad, Lud, Aram. And if
All I
heard
can
a
say
few
is
of
they
these-
have really, really weird names back there.
Oh,
How
yeah.
would you like your name to be put?
He got put in his place.
All the time.
A few of these, though, I know as countries. Cush was a country. Lud was a country. Elam was a country. And a few of these others wound up becoming part of the tribes that settled in Israel. Like Ashur, if I remember right.
Well, that was fun.
Here's the Boss County on a Reese. Little Vicky Penfield. I think we got abandoned.
You want to say goodbye?
I'll say goodbye.